Why is social contact so important? One of the number one reasons for depression and anxiety and addictions is a lack of social contact. I want everybody here to ask yourself for a second, the times that you've suffered most in your life, were you in the company of loved ones and friends, or were you by yourself? By yourself. Interesting, huh? The times when your mind goes loose and you have the weirdest thoughts, where you question yourself, you question other people. Is it when you're actually with them, or is it when you're by yourself about to jerk yourself to sleep? Interesting, huh? We have to understand that our brain was developed during a time, hundreds of thousands of years ago, where we spent time in the company of tribal members 24/7. We think it's a lot when we spend 2 to 3 hours a day in the company of people. We were made to spend 24/7 in the company. Yeah, but I'm an introvert. Yeah, okay, then you sit over there, you chew your fucking leaf, and the rest of the tribe is over there. But they're still there. Our brain learned that when we're without the tribe, we die. Because we get killed by other tribes, we starve to death, animals attack us, or we lose the chance to pass on our genetic legacy to female members of the tribes. If you take only one thing away from today, and you're going to hear me say that sentence a lot, you really have to understand how important social contact is. Social contact is the number one source of happiness. Science is very clear. The number one reason for happiness is high quality social contact. High quality. Now, we've all heard you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with. Fair enough. Does that, oh, but I got a couple losers around me. Or people who are toxic, people who don't really want to see me win. Does that mean that I need to cut them out immediately? No, the world isn't black and white. But maybe with this person you might have to set a boundary, and that's going to shift the relationship. Maybe I definitely need a couple more high quality people. There's a lot of people in this room. Maybe that's worth connecting to. That's a possibility. And you're going to have to cut 1 or 2 people out. Some of you are this much happiness, or have this much happiness waiting for you if you were to just cut out one person. One person who's fucking with you, you're this close to a lot of fucking happiness and a lot of relief by cutting out one person. But social contact overall, some high quality social contact, doesn't have to be perfect, it's better than nothing. Because we're made to be in the company of people. We are not made to be alone. Johann Hari wrote a book, The Real Causes for Anxiety and Depression. And there's a variety of different reasons. The number one is a lack of high quality social contact. It's the number one thing. Why is it that they send people into isolation when they're already in jail? Solitary confinement. Why is that a worse punishment than being with murderers and rapists? Well, because that becomes our new tribe then. The worst thing you can do to somebody is isolate. And while it's really a horrible thing to isolate people, we do it to ourselves all the time. You do it to yourself all the time. If you take one thing away, increase the amount of social contact you have per day, your happiness will increase immediately. We moved to Dubai last year. We got a place for a whole year. I lasted 3.5 weeks. Then I said, Fernanda, we have to go back. She goes, ¿Por qué? I say, because my friends are here. And I see my friends. How often do I see Jonathan and Andre and the boys and Babar? How often do I see them?
Very often. 3 times a week.
Yeah, 3 times a week. I'm with her every day, almost all the time. And then I see my friends several times a week. Because I need that. Like, how much fun can you have when you spend time with high-quality male friends? How much fun is that?
A lot.
A lot, yeah. When you're just shooting the shit, you talk about things that aren't even, but not, like, could be business. Maybe you go hit on girls together. Maybe you go to the gym together. But just the fact that you're with them, you feel immediately happy. Have you ever had that? You have a big problem, then you spend time with men and friends, and you're like, this isn't even that big a problem? That's because the problem in and of itself isn't big or small. And Gunther Schmidt, one of Germany's best psychologists, as I mentioned before, talks about this. It's not the problem, but it's how big you experience yourself to be in relation to the problem. Sometimes problems seem overwhelming. That's why things like NLP is very powerful techniques where you actually mentally shrink the problem, put it here, and then your emotional reality changes in association with it. It's not how big the problem is. So there's things that change, that determine how we feel in relation to the problem. And one of them is, how much oxytocin do we have in our brain? How much testosterone do we have in our brain? All that is impacted by men. Social contact is the number one cause for happiness or unhappiness. That's not the only thing. There's many more that we're going to talk about later that you need to have if you really want to have good energy and thereby be effective on dates, for example. But social contact is so key.